Right, welcome back to another episode of Ear Candy with myself, Danny, and today we've got in the building the Virtues. How you doing?
Very good.
Good, man.
Aye, no
Yeah,
bad,
how are
no
you?
bad.
A wee bit rough, a wee bit dying for last night, but hey ho, we're here. Yous were on it last night as well, eh?
Yeah, this sofa's struggling.
Oh,
bit.
The sofa's fine. I think this is the only serene area in the building.
Nice
Just around
struggling
me. I
that
don't
much,
feel
though.
too bad.
This thing's
to be
going to
honest.
dissolve by the time we're done with it.
Right, so obviously for the viewers out there, do you want to introduce yourselves and what you do in the band?
Yeah, so Virtues, we're a rock band from Aberdeen. Started 2019,
2019.
which feels mental, but yeah, 2019. Our singer Jess isn't here right now.
She's shaving her back.
Shaving her back up in Aberdeen.
Yeah, shout out Jess.
Shout out Jess.
There are 4 of yous in the band. Eh?
There's
So-
4 of us, yeah. There's
Aye,
only
missing
4
our,
of us.
our
yeah.
glorious front women.
You got our
Yeah.
glorious front women. So I'm Jack. I play guitar, do some of the songwriting, and general sleaze bag.
Sleazy, very sleazy. I'm Ross. I'm the bass player and do some of the songwriting as well.
Class.
I'm Matt. I'm the new drummer, which is exciting. And I don't do any songwriting because then we would have bad songs.
So you get a free pass, you've just got to
Aye.
carry the kits about.
Aye.
Eh? That's probably the worst part. When did you start playing like your instruments then?
So I was probably like, I think I was like 13. I think properly I learned how to read tab and just kind of never had a music lesson or anything like that.
Do you still just do by tab now?
by tab or just by ear now. I don't think I've got the best ear, but it's developed over 15 years or whatever. So like, just tab. And I remember, I think learning the intro to In Too Deep by Sum 41. And
Is that how you started?
well, I just remember that was the first song playing that where it was like, you hear the song, you get the tab, and you play it, and it sounds roughly like what you're trying to do, and finding that very exciting. So, I kind of progressed through that. Got very good to the point I was probably about 17. And it's been
Very
a-
good, you cocky fucker.
No.
Check him out.
No, let me
I'd like to know this before you joined the band as well. I've
I
not
was
seen
about, I
any
was
of
about to
this.
caveat that by saying it's been a slow decline since then.
Yeah,
17s was the glory years, and just kind of go. Okay, yeah, it's a bit of a pyramid. So
We'll get you through that grade
How
1
old are
songbook.
yous then?
I'm 27.
24.
26.
Oh, right, okay, aye. I've got just a couple of years on you guys then, eh? So, what about
Yeah.
yourself? When did you
Jess is
start?
Getting on. I'm a weird one because I started quite late. I didn't do any of the music or anything in school. I just thought one day I was like, I'd been reading about like Joy Division. I'd read Peter Hook's book. I was listening to heaps of them and just seeing how cool it was being in a band. I thought, I really want to do that. And I don't know how to play an instrument. So started on guitar, moved on to bass because obviously it's easier. There's only 4 strings. How
That's
wrong
exactly
can
why I
you go,
started
man?
playing
Bass player.
Yeah, I started with guitar, so I got like a guitar and an amp one year for Christmas because I was like writing at my metal and that.
Yeah.
So when I was listening to like Megadeth and Anthrax and that and watching them, it looked so easy. So I was like, it must be fucking easy, right? It was not. It was brutal. I couldn't do anything. I learned a few Slipknot tunes from Volume 3 Subliminal Verses because I got the tab book for that. And then I couldn't do any solos or fuck all like that. So I was like, what's the next best thing or the easiest thing in bass? That's what I done.
Yeah, I think because I was listening to like Joy Division, like it's all bass driven. So I was like, I had a guitar and an amp, same as you. Like, got that for my 18th birthday and was jamming away. I was like, I'm playing bass lines and guitar. Be as well just get a cheap bass. Got a beater bass, and I can't read music. Just play everything by ear. We don't write any of our songs down either.
No.
Like the
But
music,
you-
we just go by ear.
What I found interesting when you joined the band and like you didn't start really loving music until you were like 18, 19
No.
either. Like you weren't like a teenage like big music guy or
No,
whatever.
not at all.
just
It was probably only once I left school really
Yeah.
that I properly got into it, and then since
Really?
then,
not just playing, but just like listening.
yeah,
and
genuinely
stuff.
just listening, going to gigs, stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm a bit of a late bloomer.
Fair enough.
Hopefully, I get good at some point. we're waiting for it. So are the rest.
I've heard your music, it's good.
Not the bass.
Nah, the bass is cool.
What about yourself with the drums?
I'm actually in pretty much the same boat. So I didn't do any music until I left school in 2015.
Right.
So I left to go do computing science, and I'm not a computer scientist. That's not for me. So I did what you do and bought a drum kit.
It's the next logical step.
Yeah, easily. I was like, I'm not enjoying uni. Let's just hit something in the attic.
So how old were you when you got the drum kit then?
18.
It's quite late for the drums,
Aye.
eh? Like you usually when it's drummers, they start when they're like really, really young. Like, I think as you get older,
Oh,
it
I
becomes
sure
harder
wish I
to
had.
synchronize. Nah, I've tried drums at an
Yeah,
older
it's
age, and
impossible.
it's hard just to keep a steady beat.
I think it's that with every instrument though. Like not even every instrument, every skill. Like I know if I didn't start learning when I was young, like how you wouldn't have got. You don't have that time as an adult to have the same progression.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, or like your brain learns the same.
Yeah, I've always said if I have like a kid at some point, they're getting piano lessons, guitar lessons. Like,
Speaking
as-
4 languages by the
as
time
soon
they're
as
5.
they're
Chess,
ready.
the chess champion.
Yeah, like, they're just going to be master of everything, football, you name it, absolutely everything. So you
Homeschooled.
homeschool. Well, you might have to these days. Terrifying what they teach kids in school these days. But so when did you join the band then? Because you said that you're.
It was just late last year,
Yeah, November, December time, I think.
even as
Yeah.
late as that. Wow. Yeah.
Well,
First gig, 1st of December. Yeah.
What was up with the drummer before? Just packed it in, couldn't hack it.
Yeah, I mean, he just wasn't feeling it anymore. Like between gigs, he wouldn't be practicing stuff like that, and I think he just kind of fell out of love with it a wee bit.
He'd been playing in bands since he was like 15, 16. So
Yeah, and
he's
had been
just,
playing drums probably since he was about 5 as well.
Yeah,
So,
I think just didn't know anything else, and he got into his like outdoor sports,
Yeah.
which like I do a lot of as well. And I was excited of sharing those two passions with him, but he's cut one of them out, and yeah, just kind of
Yeah, the passion for music, like he didn't really enjoy like going to gigs and stuff like that, but he's really
Really?
enjoying his outdoor. No, not at all.
But
He
I think it's
hated
just-
live music.
I think it's just because he'd done it for so long since he
Yeah.
was a kid. You needed like a break for it, and he'll maybe like come back to it or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've never played a gig, but I've been going to gigs since, I don't know, I was about 11, 12, 13-year-old, something like that. And I can't think of a better thing
yeah,
in the world.
Yeah, well,
Nah,
Jess
me
is kind
neither.
of similar.
Okay.
Like she's not massive on going to gigs and stuff like that.
Seeing
But,
gigs,
yeah.
It does get a lot. I think when in the early days when we were playing a lot, and it felt like, you know, you're taking, if we don't take like Tatty Fest, Montrose, like charity
The
gig,
worst
the
gigs we've
2
ever played.
o'clock, 2 o'clock on a Sunday slot, we'll never make it. Like when you feel the pressure and we're playing like a couple of times
Just
a week or
horrendous gigs,
every week
yeah.
on a regular basis, it does get to the point where you're listening to like so many like local bands or live
So many
music.
mediocre
So-
bands.
yeah, exactly. It's just like you get saturated. Now it's better because we're a little more selective and we play like a little less and stuff. So I enjoy it a lot more.
Makes
But-
us sound so professional,
only
as,
the
if, as if we
best.
have a choice.
Only the best gets booked.
Yeah, okay.
Tatty Fest won't have us
Yeah,
back.
people don't pick up the phone as much. I know these
What
days.
happened at this Tatty Festival?
Oh man!
Oh,
So
man.
like from minute one, so to set the scene here, it's a charity gig in Montrose,
Potatoes
which is like
everywhere.
Yeah, just outside of Aberdeen. It's a charity gig for a guy called Tatty who I think passed away from cancer. So it's a cancer fundraiser
Right, okay.
event. So my barber had been chatting to me saying, "Yeah, you need to get on this Tatty Fest." So we went down. And it's this tiny wee pub in Montrose, like coastal village, like just south
Oh,
of
not
Aberdeen.
even outside. I
Nah,
was picturing
nah,
like an
nah,
outside.
nah,
No,
Nah,
Okay.
coast like it's in a pub called the
Right.
Black Abbot. So we went in and like we walked in with our equipment and stuff, and like within the first few seconds, someone said, "Who the fuck do they think they are? One Direction." Like, me and my drummer holding
We're
our
the only
equipment.
people under 50. So that made us some
And
kind of
there's
boy
there's some
band.
really cool bands that
Yeah,
were playing,
awesome.
like some guys absolutely shredding these old geezers. So we're loving them. We were on afterwards, set up our equipment. First song, sort of, yeah, it went okay. Second song, I was noticing, I'm not hearing any bass here. Looked down, like it was like smoke and stuff. Pedal board, like I think the fuse had gone in the wall. So like frantically trying to fix this. None of them stopped. They're all still playing. People looking at me. I'm going like purple. I'd only played like 4 gigs prior to this, 3-4 gigs. I'm so embarrassed. All these people staring at me like,
That must be the worst night.
oh man, it killed me. So yeah, that was all
Do
malfunction.
you know what?
Managed to sort it.
There's
but
2 points
they
you left
hated
out
us.
from that story. There was the band on directly before us were one of these like shit hot cover bands, like you know,
Right.
older guys who are like
Yeah.
so proficient. And when you're playing in a pub, like people don't want to hear originals, other stuff like that. They want to,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? They want to hear covers. And I think they just done like "Sweet Child of Mine" and then like "The Trooper" by Iron Maiden
Yeah.
like, flawlessly. So everyone was like,
Yes, I've got videos of it. They're
everyone
really
was like,
cool.
and they sounded like perfect, and everyone was like so stoked. And then like we just kind of take stage. And I remember Hendo, our old drummer, his mum and dad had come to see us, and he told me this after the show that apparently, like halfway through our set, one of the somebody had like leaned over to Hendo's dad and be like, "Yeah, these guys are a bit shit, aren't they? It's like, that's my son.
In full agreement.
Yeah, in full
It's a
agreement.
humbling experience.
Yeah,
humbling
so-
experience.
yeah,
We had a
it's
gig the next night as well, so we all went into that with really low spirits. Like Sunday night in Aberdeen, and it was one of the best gigs that we played.
Ah,
At
it
that
was so
point. It was
fun,
ace.
like, it
Yeah,
was so-
Was
really
it a good crowd for that?
Yeah,
Okay.
at Tatty Fest or the Sunday one.
Not the Sunday one.
Nah.
Oh yeah, we sold quite a few tickets there. More than the headline band.
Well, that was one of the things. It was one of the annoying ones where like a kind of very low key headliner comes up and the promotion company gets you to play support. So obviously everyone there is to see you. 'Cause
Yeah,
all your mates are like people from the area or whatever. And then usually try and always be really sound and like really like key in for people to like stick around and stuff like that. But the production company and the headline band were kind of
Oh, is this the cellar gig?
dick.
yeah, this is the
Oh,
sound. They were dicks.
We're kind of dickheads, like, or really were dickheads.
Did you pull them up for it?
Well, no.
No,
What
but
we did
we-
was probably worse.
Yeah, so it's like as soon as I really hate doing this stuff. It's the only time we've done it. But as soon as we finished playing, went to the pub upstairs, and like the whole crowd went with us.
We told everyone
yeah.
to clear off. Yeah,
But yeah, they were really.
they deserved
They
it. The
deserved-
guy.
They were dicks, then fuck them.
Yeah.
like.
Yeah,
Fuck
they
them.
absolutely deserved it.
I think what was worse, it was like after they'd started playing, everyone just
I gave them a
When-
song, and I was like, okay, I don't like them, and I don't like the music. So I'm boosting.
just keeping their anonymity. Keeping them anonymous.
How did
Won't
you
tell
guys end up forming them? Because you're all over the place in Scotland. There's a 2 years for here and 2 for Aberdeen or something. Is that right?
That's the current setup, yeah. But at the time when we formed, everyone was up in Aberdeen.
Right,
so
okay.
yeah, it's a bit of a long, convoluted story, isn't it?
So weirdly enough, I was working in an office in Aberdeen at the time, and I don't know if you've ever worked in one of those kind of like officey streets where the sandwich van comes
Right.
every lunchtime,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
parks and
yeah.
like beeps the horn or whatever.
That's
So
how we
Ross
met
had like dilapidated, was it a Citroen Saxo that he was selling homemade rolls out of.
Well, you were.
You got to make ends meet. But
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You must have made quite a few quid doing that.
But
Yeah,
you were
but-
undercutting like the big.
Always
yeah,
not.
the burger van down at B&Q, they were wanting my head. They were wanting my head. Most of the overheads went on the car though.
Yeah.
It was just wood paneling by the end of it.
So Trotter's independent trading would roll up over here, and he'd be tooting the horn and stuff like that, and you had your hairnet on, and
Aye.
terrible sandwiches. You could not fault the price. You could not fault the price. So we got I think you were coming to the office for a few weeks, and we got
Before I get turfed out at one location, you need to make sure you really saturate the market in the other.
before he got the old cease and desist. he'd really stick hard on one location.
Until the health and safety board got wind of me again.
Shut you down.
Get the car paid off and then book it.
FBI's most wanted.
Multiple salmonella cases pending to this day.
Crimes against gluten-based product.
So we got talking in those lunch breaks and stuff. Like you'd be playing the Smiths and stuff out the back of the Saxo.
Yeah, yeah.
And we got talking a bit about music and
Bet this guy plays mad bass.
Fucking dead. I'm just picturing the guy in the fucking burger van punching walls, man. He's fucking fuming.
Man, honestly, that Saxo took a pounding. They come out of the house one day, the wheels were missing.
he was
Thing was on bricks.
He was notorious, but as I say, you couldn't fault the prices.
Prolific.
But we got talking about music. You were putting a bit of a project together, and
Yeah.
Invited me along for a jam. And I think you had a singer at the time
Yeah.
who played
Jim, yeah.
Jim, who played guitar, and then me and Hendo were our original drummer. We come from maybe more of a metally kind of background
Right.
and stuff like that. So I think it was both our first audition practice when we call it
took you in
together.
the same practice.
And I remember I was playing with another band at the time, and I remember really not being arsed going that night and was going to patch
Wait,
it.
so was it you that started it?
Yeah,
You're
we were-
auditioning these guys.
Yeah, so I found an advert for this band in HMV that were needing a bass player. So I went and started it up, and the first guitarist hadn't shown up. The drummer was a bit rubbish, and we went round to his house one day to pick him up for practice. His mum was there, and knocking on his door. He comes up and went, What are you two here for? Oh, we're here to pick up Tommy to take him to practice. Oh no, he's at church. Okay.
Well, that's the wrong fit for the band.
Onto Instagram, right? Had Hendo recommended to me by a friend, our old drummer, so had him recommended, and then found Jack on Facebook Marketplace. He was slinging himself,
Sinners
whoring
only.
himself out,
like a Parisian sleaze.
Yeah, so got them in for the same day for practice to see what worked, and the three of us clicked really well. And
I think I remember going and thinking like you'd really not been playing bass for that long by that
I
point.
was crap, man.
And like the singer
I
and
was
other
crap.
guitar player wasn't great, but like I remember being able to like lock in really well with Hendo, because I think maybe the metal background, why I even remember thinking like, right, if he takes it, I'll kind of like take it, and then you progress so quickly after that.
Yeah, well, I think because
so.
like I was creative, maybe.
Yeah.
You decided to stick around with me, or maybe
Well,
it's
just
'cause I
more just because
organised
you're a
stuff.
nice guy, and like obviously you're like a business mogul, is what I've learned from the sandwich empire. so it's like,
Yeah.
if anybody's going to take us to the top, it's this guy. Like he's come from nothing.
Described once as the Alan
Started
Sugar of
from
the
the bottom,
sandwich
now we're
world.
here.
Which is why you're in charge of all the social media.
Yes, exactly. As long as they don't find out my past life, then we're safe. for just now.
Richard Branston Pickle over here, just absolutely taking us to the moon.
How do you get away with doing that? Like, see, you're like selling shit out of your fucking car like that.
You don't.
It's just
you
what
don't.
Aberdeen's
You just
like.
wait until folk catch you. You know,
Move on to the next.
Pay
you
him
move
off
on to the
with a
next
bacon.
town.
But
Move
it's
on
quite-
to the next town.
It's quite
Like a sandwich
inspiring.
slinging gypsy.
It's quite inspiring. Like you're an entrepreneur. Like you fucking.
I mean, that's
see the
that
gap
carries
in the
us-
market. Going for it.
It's the shameless grab.
No
Do you know
one-
what I mean? Like no shame at any point.
It's the
you know
same
what
as
I
the
mean?
music industry, though. Like, no one has ever compared the sandwich, the car boot sandwich business, to the music industry, but we've cracked the model.
What would you do? You just waking up early in the morning, buying loaves of bread, and then just standing in your kitchen making
Buttering the shit out of rolls. My dad would come home and be like, Ross, why are there like 25 packs of thin sliced ham that's all out of date in the fridge?
Don't worry, I'm paying off the car.
It's not your concern,
Yeah.
Stubes. That's for the punters to worry about tomorrow morning.
That's the NHS's problem now. Yeah.
Did you pay much VAT on the business?
What's that?
So
You're going to have to blur my face.
You're gonna have
Garble my voice.
a disclaimer before this, like we were unaware of the criminal proceedings against Mr.
Oh my
White
God.
before this interview.
Wanted in 7 different countries for crimes against food.
I think that's
7
one of the
different
greatest things I've
Aberdeen
ever heard.
counties.
That is unreal. That is absolutely unreal. So when did Jess join you then?
So we'd been through. So Jim, the guy we were talking about, that didn't really work out, and he kicked me out of the band.
So did you originally have a male?
Yeah,
Had a male vocalist, and that's how I'd always kind of pictured me being in a band with. I don't know why, but
Sexist.
yeah, I know I'm horrible. It's the sandwich trade man that just links to you. So
famously male orientated.
so we'd had this guy in, and we were writing loads of cool instrumentals at this point.
Right.
And he wouldn't let me contribute to or either of us contribute to lyrics, because we both write lyrics.
Yeah.
He wasn't letting us touch them, and when he did write a song, he absolutely butchered it. So
Right.
he kicked me out of the band because I pulled him up on it.
That-
You two came with me. We were like, we still want to try. Tried another guy out. That wasn't really working. And then Hendo found Jess on Instagram. She was posting loads of covers. So I thought, yeah, this isn't working out at all. Got her in, and she was absolutely brilliant.
Just collect, you know what?
2 songs in the first practice down, no problem.
It's one of those
Great.
situations where it's like, without sounding too hippy dippy, it's like the music's in the room before you get there. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's just
Right,
it was so easy,
Yeah.
so easy, and
Yeah.
like I think because none of us really have like, especially with Jess, Matt, you're a bit different because you've studied music now, but when it was like Hendo, Jess, me, and Ross, none of us had like I don't think I'd ever taken a music lesson or like had any kind of like
Absolutely
training
not.
or understanding, but like, you know, like it's like I know what you're gonna do just before you do it, and you know what I'm gonna do just before
You're all
I
on the
do
same
it.
page, eh?
Yeah,
You're
you're
all
on
synchronized.
we're on the wavelength, and it just felt really natural, didn't it? From
Yeah,
that point
100%.
on, yeah, it's good.
How would you end up coming to like an agreement of the sound that you want your music to be like? Because obviously, if you're coming from a metal background, are you more punk, I take it.
Punk, post-punk, yeah, that kind of
But you're
stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of like grungy. punk
Yeah,
stuff.
so you've got
Fits
quite
well with
a,
Jess, that.
Yeah.
you've got a mad
it's a really wide range, but
I don't think we've ever really discussed it. Like,
it was never a discussion ever.
I think it just like me and Hendo. It's almost like the old drummer and now Matt. Like, it was almost like naturally we fell into, because Ross does a lot of the almost like New Order style, like lead bassy stuff, and like I'll rip a few solos. I'm managing to force them in there now, but like
cramming them in.
We ended up. I kind of just naturally ended up doing more like riffy, like keeping time with the drums, like metally, punky, kind of like power chordy stuff, and then you're doing the kind of New Order bass stuff, and then
right
like,
up the high end.
and then Jess has got a grungy singing style, so it's never been a conversation of what style we want to be. It's just kind of like happened from all of our influences. I think we like to write songs and then just
because we all write, so we just kind of, whoever's had a song, you'll just take that into the practice room and go from there.
Now,
and we never tell each other what parts to write, really.
No,
to be honest.
Really, no.
How do you practice if there's folk in Aberdeen and folk here? Are you doing it over Zoom? Or?
We were all in Aberdeen
That
for the
would be
first
funny.
like 3.5 years of the band. The first 3 years of the band, like we were all in Aberdeen. I was up there working. Ross had his business.
When I didn't have to flee the country, we'd be able to practice fairly regularly.
Ross legally has to be out of the country for 7 months of the year, so it has been challenging. It was fine then. But I think it was those early days we practiced and wrote so much, and we've got like a back catalogue of like 20 odd songs now. So once the groundwork's done, like we don't have to practice as much now. Maybe like
no, we only really do the sort of full bandy practices if we've got gigs coming up and stuff, and then we'll do like writing sessions in between. But hopefully can ramp that up a bit, because we've got so many songs in the woodwork that we've not recorded, because we're all quite prolific. Jess especially just churns out songs. She sends messages across like every day. I've written another song. I'm sat at my desk going, oh my god, I can't keep up.
That's some talent. That like I've tried writing lyrics and that before, and it's always shite.
Oh man, well I'm coming into it quite late. I'm really lucky to have worked with Jack and Jess, both such good songwriters, and it's really upped what I've got to contribute as well. I've learned quite a lot from it.
My favourite band is Depeche Mode, and like see when I listen to them, I'm just like, how the fuck could you even come up with something like that? Like
Stuff
when
like
you
that,
have the lyrics,
the whole
in front of you.
arrangements and stuff like that as well.
Yeah,
like,
it's
the whole song coming together. Yeah,
It's
did
crazy.
you see them play? Where was it? Were they at the Hydro recently? Did you see them?
Yeah, I went there. I went to Berlin to see them twice in Berlin last year, and I went to Twickenham as well in London to see them last year.
Magic.
Like when I say I love them, I fucking love them. Like I really. I'm so close to booking up Europe, because they're in Europe at the minute, and I'd love to go and see them in Europe again, because especially Germany, they do it differently. Like gigs and that, like they've just got everything down to a T.
Yeah.
I think Frank Carter, we went to see Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes the other week at the Barrowlands, and they're touring Germany at the moment. The videos look insane.
Yeah.
So cool.
Hey, when are we off to Germany?
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Once the sandwich trade takes off there.
What Europe territories are you allowed in?
Not many, but I can sneak into a few.
Failed states.
Mainly the eastern ones that are war ravaged. I have citizenship in them all.
So how long was it until you actually started going like into the studio? So if you're jamming with each other for ages and you're making tunes, what was it then like going into like a studio and like a professional environment? Because I guess before, if you were just jamming, you were just getting pissed up, having a laugh.
No, we were never really like we were never that bad for like drinking or stuff. Like
it was only really at gigs and like we'd keep the music and getting lasered a separate sort of thing that we would do.
I think we're all quite like when we when we went in there
Spinal Tap phase now
to practice and stuff. It was almost like not to work, but like we enjoyed it so much. Like I don't remember like really drinking before or during. Like even to this day, like it's like I suppose now because the time together is more limited. When we've got to practice, we need to kind of make the most of it.
Yeah.
And stuff.
No, when we were writing, I remember like coming up to yours and we would just be sitting drinking horrible instant coffee. It would be like hours writing these songs just like on your floor, just trying to figure out these parts, because everything came together so quickly. From Jess joining the band, that was the end of September 2019. We'd had our first gig booked in for the start of November, so we knew that we had like a half-hour set to make up. and the songs just had to keep coming and coming and coming. And
then what? We would have recorded early that year.
December
December 2019.
we recorded in December,
Right.
so we'd only been a band for 2 months when we went into the studio. We'd had that many songs, and it was actually a selection. It wasn't just we're going to record what we have. We had to actually be selective about what we chose.
Because you're putting money into it at that point, are you?
Well, the thing is, like, the place we record in Aberdeen, they would take a couple of sandwiches for about 14 hours recorded. And, the thing is,
Fill
like,
the till with them.
I don't know if you've listened to our stuff. I listen to a lot of the Glasgow bands, and it's really polished. But
Yeah.
I think for what I would say a 15th of the price, we have like 80% of that kind of like quality.
Yeah.
Like, they're really good. Like, they're the kind of like local studio. We've practiced there for like 4.5, 5 years.
Just like a hole in the wall.
Yeah, hole in the wall, musical vision, and they're just like, the guys will just spend, like, they won't charge you anything. I don't even understand how they're still open, but like they'll put so much hours into it, like mixing and like
They've
really,
got their
like,
own sandwich business.
Andy's brilliant.
yeah,
He definitely is in the sandwich trade. Like, but you walk in and he's laid out on the couch in the reception bit, eating a curry, hungover or whatever. This just suits us, you know.
yeah.
I think
Haven't
it
been to-
is kind of mad how polished their like even more recent stuff is, though.
Like, it's
So you had a
set,
single
recordings
come
are
out
pretty crazy.
end of last year, right?
Aye,
Was it Snow?
yeah, a couple
That,
singles, Snow, and someone
Someone for nothing.
Someone for
you
Nothing.
wrote it. You should know what it's called.
That's your most
somewhere-
popular tune, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
got like 10,000 odd streams on
Yeah.
Spotify or something, isn't it?
So we went to see the Chats, and I think I'm from like a punk rock metal background, and we went to see the Chats,
Yeah.
and then like I've seen them before, and then I was thinking, oh, I wish we just had more like simple, just like power chordy, like riffy, catchy songs. I think the next day I just wrote that whole song, "Someone for Nothing," and yeah, it's done really well. I think Snow, like what we released, I'm like more proud of that. I think it's awesome. Like, some really cool guitar solos, really nice work and stuff.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it played out.
I find it funny how we kind of developed, like, from those first recording sessions where we were just so excited to go in and record, and we hadn't really thought anything about like the arrangements, like overdubs. Like, why would we do that? Like, we're just putting the guitar parts down and stuff. Whereas like these last two, I feel like you can tell they're more polished because we were actually a bit more confident in what we
I could hear that when I was,
Yeah.
when I was listening. I could
what we
hear
actually
it.
wanted to include. You know.
And that's
Have you ever-
definitely going to continue now that I'm on the drums.
And yeah, because you've done like, sound
Definitely.
production and stuff, so you know your stuff. You know your
Hopefully,
stuff.
hopefully.
Whereas-
We'll see.
like,
When
change
we
it up
record
a bit,
that
like
first
you were-
track.
You were saying there how Glasgow bands sound a lot more polished. Would you ever take the next step and maybe changing where you record? Or
Yeah, we've discussed it. I'm kind of like I've been really passionate about sort of doing what I want as opposed to like what's kind of cool now. So like we put out a whole album, which isn't like what local bands do now as much. It's like to like get the streams or whatever. It's like singles or
yeah.
like, you know, small EPs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. We had all these songs, and I think it was like, what was it, 2022 Never Better came out.
Yeah,
And like our album was like, we had all these songs, and I was like, you know, we could like record singles or like a few small EPs and like push it and work really hard. It's like, I don't care as how many people listen to it, or people aren't going to listen to it as much, but I just want to release a whole album start to
Yeah.
finish. I've always wanted to do that, and I'm
Yeah.
really proud of having done that. Do you
No,
know what
me
I say?
too. Yeah.
So it's I don't know, I kind of like how we do it, but I would like to go into like a really good studio, spend a bit of time, have somebody get frustrated at me for not understanding what they're talking about, and try and get something.
Yeah.
A bit of an eye
What do you
opener
mean
for
my
yous when
guitar's
you
not
went
plugged
into Studio, because you will be learning as you go away.
Yeah,
Especially if it's the first time you've been in one as well.
I think so. I think the fact that the guy that's done all the recording is an incredibly gruff, no nonsense Aberdonian man who'll just
He has chronic hearing difficulties.
Really helps.
Just what you want out of your sound engineer.
He's the boy.
What is the music scene like up in Aberdeen? Because we had, who was it, the Fun Day?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Aye, yeah. I
We've-
said
we've-
the Fun Day when they were in here as well. I fucking introduced them as that
Fun
on
Day.
camera.
We've not played with them, have we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it was your last.
It-
It was your last gig when you took your
Hiatus.
sabbatical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must
So
have been some night, because they're pretty funny guys.
Mm-hmm.
Found them
Well,
pretty funny.
Clearly, I haven't left the biggest impression on me if I don't remember them. But I'm sure they were great. I'm sure they're awesome. I'm sure they're
That,
awesome.
yeah, that gig was nonsense as well. Yeah.
I used to be neighbours with Connor Ritchie, their singer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was very exciting.
It's an absolute village.
My brother shagged his sister.
Airing the dirty laundry on
Edit
your-
that bit out.
cut that.
Did that, which was also she was dating Aaron Newson, the Stonefish singer at the time,
Oh shit!
who then I was in a
tossed.
band with.
So now the Aberdeen music scene is destroyed. But
Yeah.
before this
Bridge
revelation,
burning, matches
Like,
burning
brother.
bridges.
Woman gets around, man.
I've always been kind of proud of the Aberdeen.
Nancy sponging. That's it.
The Aberdeen music scene. I think it's always been like everyone focuses on like Glasgow and stuff, which there's like loads of great stuff here, obviously, but like it's almost like its own separate thing. And I've always found it kind of supportive, like people going to each other's gigs, like always big crowds and like a bit of a harder edge. Like there's a really good like metal scene and like some of the hardcore.
Yeah,
bands
actually,
and
yeah,
stuff,
the
and,
heavier
like,
stuff tends to do better.
Yeah, yeah. And it's
Bitterwood, I think they're touring Southeast Asia.
yeah, like
Oh,
headline tour
with their drummer last night.
headline tour and stuff, and
Lots of leather jackets. That's the
Yeah.
Aberdeen scene.
yeah. But I think it's strong. I think it's healthy.
You ever
Yeah.
think about maybe moving the whole lot to Glasgow?
Very tempted.
Well, to say that we're playing now, me and Matt are here. I moved down for work, and Matt's always been here, and we're playing more gigs here and stuff.
Yeah, we're playing more gigs in Glasgow than we have done in Aberdeen, really. Because gigs that I've found because I book all the gigs and stuff.
Right.
I found the gigs in Aberdeen are harder to get than the ones down here.
Really?
Yeah, it's trying to network in Aberdeen because there's not really like how there's loads of kind of promotion companies down here putting on gigs. Like there's so many more venues up there. There's like maybe one promotion company, maybe two plus Krakatoa.
It's quite a crowded pond, I'd say, in Aberdeen, because there's only like 3-4 like proper venues, and then maybe Tunnels is like the biggest for a smaller band. So
You're
there's
getting
not really.
quite a few gigs up there now, though. Eh? What's
Yeah.
that venue that you've got? What's the big one?
Oh, there's the P&J Live, which
That's-
is like the massive one.
That's
a big
the
boy,
one.
yeah.
Aye. I've noticed a lot of bands when they're doing UK
lot.
tours, they're going to Aberdeen.
Yeah.
which I
We're-
think
we're
bonkers.
planning-
It's crazy, isn't
No,
it?
no, but-
it's crazy.
but
They never
that-
sell out though.
Iron
we're
Maiden
planning
were
a
there
gig
couple of
there,
years
what,
ago,
in the
weren't
summer?
they? Yeah.
Like Iron Maiden, like I think in the last 5 years, like Blink 182, Iron Maiden,
182 as well,
yeah,
that's
Blink
right.
182 played Biffy Clyro.
We were meant to play in there.
We were meant to
Aye.
play there.
Taste the Grampian Festival.
Taste the Grampian, yeah.
Oh, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know we
yeah.
actually were.
It got COVIDed off, and we had to
We had to do a virtual performance.
do a live stream.
Which
didn't
we
Oh, did
cocked
we
up.
have to pre-record it?
We had to pre-record it, which
Yeah.
we kind of cocked up because I think one of the strings in your guitar broke like first song in, so you had to use Jess's, and she doesn't know how to change the strings on her guitar. We have to do it for her, so she doesn't do it. This was during lockdown. She hadn't done it for months. The strings had rust on them.
Yeah.
So we
Very
had
cool.
Jack played, gave him a tetanus shot, and sent him on his way.
Yeah, it's good. It's sweet. Yeah.
Mad. So what's Jess like with you guys? Obviously, like playing live and that. Can she hang with you? The party scene and that.
Big time.
Big time.
one
Yeah.
of
She's
the
the
boys?
worst.
One of
She's
the-
she, very much so.
One of the
very
lads.
much so.
Yeah, one of the lads.
Complete tomboy like
We
that.
are quite scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you used to stay in the same block of flats as Jess. So
No, we
you've
were.
seen- did you not?
No, she lived near me, but we were.
Seshed heavily
yeah.
together.
Yeah.
He's seen the worst.
Like, this is like when lockdown started easing off, and we'd basically just get a bottle of wine and just hang out, which was pretty fun.
Yeah, what was that like for you guys during COVID? Like as a band, obviously as like humans, it was fucking shit, but it must have been awful for.
I didn't have
Band.
severe tinnitus for the first time in like 5 years, which was really nice. Like I realized like playing in a practice room since I was like 17 3 times a week without earplugs was slowly destroying me, and going to bed every night during lockdown without a constant ringing in my ears. That's the main takeaway I have. That was really good.
I think because the timing from us forming to then starting to sort of really gain some traction, and our last gig was down here. We were headlining at the Priory on Sauchiehall Street.
Right.
So we were really starting to feel like we were making some momentum. We were doing playing lots of gigs. Really I do the social media and I hate it, but I was really into just creating content and stuff for that. And then all of that just to stop with no prospect of any live music or anything. It felt like ever again. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
I did
man.
feel like that.
Yeah.
It was shit, man. I hated that.
It's really crap.
That was brutal.
You're not even going to believe me when we talk about his business ideas, but you were like,
I've heard about some of them.
but that's what I mean. Like, it seems like almost like too far fetched to be true. But you had that thing. You were so focused on like that expired feminine hygiene product as like a replacement of PPE, that business you were trying to get going at the start of lockdown.
It was a failed.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, no, like
Because to me,
like,
that just sounds like you're chatting.
no,
absolute shit.
like genuinely.
What the fuck is that then?
Well, I don't know. What was it you, because you managed to secure, like, can't remember, it's from your old work or for contact, but like loads of out of date feminine hygiene products.
Just from breaking into public toilets.
and like, and because of like the, like, I don't know, like the lack of trade and stuff in the UK, you thought you were going to make a mint off all this stuff. So you
tape loads of them together.
I remember you were like laser focused on that for ages, and there was
This
like,
was like same day they announced the lockdown. You were like, any excuse.
Yeah, it was a
You've had
shame.
this
That
idea
business
for a
idea
while
didn't
before.
quite take off, but
Where were you
Aye.
selling them on eBay?
Saxo, wasn't it? Out the Saxo.
Saxo or the Corolla. Did I have the Corolla at the time?
I don't know if you had the Corolla.
They came as
Yeah.
an add-on with your sandwich.
50p upgrade.
Sanitary pad circa 2015.
combo
Napkin
meal.
/ PPE.
Honestly, it's bonkers. Some of
Aye.
the shite you've come out with, by the way. I don't think I've ever met someone quite like you. I've met a few dodgy characters, but
The man's a
Pleasure.
mogul. The man's a
business
mogul.
mogul.
Do you know what? One day he's going to strike it right. And he's going to get
Have
it.
you had any other ideas?
Thankfully not. You'll be glad to hear.
Believe it or not, he works in wealth management, which is terrifying given his prior business ideas.
What's that? What's wealth management?
Like financial planning for people, retirement planning, stuff like that. So it's quite the segue from out
You're
of
like,
date
learn from my
sandwiches.
mistakes.
Yeah,
So you've got all these big oil and gas companies who are like, oh, you know, like, what should we put our, like, you know, profits in? What should our, like, pensions be in? He's like, right, so if you take all this and
Ever heard of Lurpak?
out of date sanitary packets and home sandwich deliveries making a big comeback. So I think if we just concentrate some of it.
I just point down into the car park. See this thing with 2.5 wheels.
Big neon sign on the roof.
Have you got any music videos of that? Have you
So
done
we've got one. Yeah, we talked about doing like a professionally done one for 2 of the singles that came out off the album. We thought, nah, it's just going to be cheesy. It's not really us. So we left it to Jess, who, God bless her, is not the most technologically abled person.
No, she's weirdly good at technology stuff.
Depends what it is. GarageBand, she's a wizard.
Yeah, she's
an
like
absolute
some kind of
wizard.
savant. Like it's like Rain Man when she gets on there. Like,
Video editing software, no. Horrendous. Like,
What were
absolutely
you, was
horrendous.
it filmed on an actual camera or was
No,
it like
no.
a
Allegedly.
on the phone?
no,
Allegedly, you wouldn't know.
It's just lots of
I think
phone
it was through my
clips.
microwave.
It's just it's lots of phone clips.
Lots of stupid clips from us doing stupid stuff, which, like, from having chatted to us, you can imagine there was a few that was piled up over the
To
years.
be fair though, like, see, as a fan of music myself, I like music videos, although I think they're a bit of a dying art these days. Like, for me, I think those are the kind of best music videos where it's just like real clips.
Yeah,
like, they
yeah,
had
yeah,
the
yeah.
Slicks in here, and they had a video for their song Regulars. And that was them just getting pissed up in a pub, and then they played a gig in the same pub as well.
All right, okay.
and just looked carnage, like
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
an
yeah.
absolute bear
Yeah.
pit.
Well, that's exactly the kind of stuff that we would. Well, it was kind of what we were going for, but I mean, it was just phone clips that we'd got. So like,
No,
the
but I just
quality
like
was
when I look at it, it makes me
garbage.
smile. Like it's
really,
us.
it's,
Like,
it's really funny.
stupid.
But
It's
I think
really
if we were
funny.
to professionally do one, it would go along the same lines.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
filming that the build up to a gig,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
happens?
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's always nonsense, isn't it?
That's what people want to see, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to find it mad though. Like, if there's some music videos out there when they've actually had like writers and directors and all that. It's like
crazy,
a
isn't
mini,
it?
like a mini film. Like that's like Michael Jackson Thriller, like shit like that. That's just fucking. It's on another planet. That.
We
Yeah.
could just spend the entire band bank account, just go straight,
No, we could do
straight to the top.
thir-
Spielberg, man.
30-second video.
Yeah, we could get with the entire band bank. We get like 8 seconds of Spielberg direction, and
Recreate D-Day on Aberdeen Beach.
I'd like us to try really hard to create something thriller-esque and just see how shit it would be. Like,
Halloween single this year, man.
Halloween
Telling
single.
8
yeah.
seconds of that mixed with Jess's video skills.
How much is it to get like a video done?
We were to do one in Krakatoa, like just to have you like recorded on the stage and stuff. We were quoted a few £100.
Really?
Yeah, which was probably about the same as it cost to record the music.
Yeah.
Which, I'm not sure
mad.
who comes out best in that
Is it
scenario.
then? Did they make the would they then make the video of
Edit,
that, or is
yeah.
that just they just record the footage?
I
and
think
then say that's the footage for you. And then
They
you
said to
do what
make
you
a
need
music
to.
video, so I presume that includes.
Yeah.
No,
Christ
no,
knows
but I
that we're
think that
not
was
able to do that.
I think that was like shooting us outside the like doing like I don't know going to location or whatever Stonehaven Harbour, or whatever.
Exotic, man.
Whatever
That
it
makes
be.
more sense because just the live performance recording I know is like 30 quid or something.
Yeah.
They just take it out of your feed.
Yeah, they're
basically.
quite good for that. They've got
Really
cameras in the
good.
roof and everything, so they.
Big up Krakatoa.
Yeah, no, they're great. They're really good. Yeah, if you're up in Aberdeen, definitely go there.
I've not been to Aberdeen in years. I've got no
I've-
reason to go there.
I find
Krakatoa and that.
do you know what's-
Why would you threaten someone with going to Aberdeen?
what I find mad since I moved down here, I was only in Aberdeen for like 6 or 7 years. But what I find mad is like, I love Aberdeen, like the time we spent there and stuff, and everyone from the Central Belt like really hates it, or like the majority of people I've met just like have like a really bad opinion of it. Like,
I'm a city boy. Eh?
yeah,
I don't like it. I live there.
yeah, I've always quite.
No, it's got its charm.
I understand to visit, it's not the most exciting
No.
place or whatever, but yeah,
No, it's got its charm.
it's got a bad rep down here. Let me tell you.
The worst place I've been in Scotland might be Inverness.
Right, okay.
Inverness is bad.
I'm so glad you said this because I'm like from the Northwest Highlands and Inverness is our closest city, a mere 65 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And
Where the fuck are you in the Hebrides or something?
no, just
Middle of the sea, man. Lives in Royal Rig.
way up northwest, like way up northwest. But I've always thought Inverness was a bit of a shithole. Like it's quite like a rough night out and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty rough, but like I find it really interesting chatting to like people, like my friends from like Glasgow and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I went there, it's so beautiful and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I
It's
only
not,
ever
man.
hear
Like,
of folk going up there with like their girlfriends and stuff, and like, oh, it was really nice. Take a photo of the river, and all I can think of is that video of the guy with the fence.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
that
the
makes
bank
me
card.
cringe.
It's-
I hate
yeah.
that. It's the accent, man. The accent fucking drives me mad.
Ear jock,
Horrendous.
ear jock.
What was it? A bonk machine.
That's near a bonk machine, Paul. It's a fence.
No,
It's near a bonk
I just
machine,
think
pal.
it's so forced that the accent that they use up there is just so forced.
No, I think it's legit. Like, I
Do you think?
Yeah, no,
Nah.
I will. No, one thing I will say. See, I feel. The funny thing is, I feel the same thing about when I hear a lot of people like living down here with like the Glasgow accent. Like a lot of like people, like I feel like pushing it on. So
Yeah.
maybe that's just like
That is one thing. Is see Scottish Twitter. I find that cringy. as
Oh,
fuck.
it's
because you can
killer.
tell people don't actually talk like
No,
that.
Well,
they
who
don't.
types like that? You'd need to actually really force it to try and think of
Yeah,
it.
think about how
Type
many
out.
times I've had to delete that because autocorrect keeps saying like,
Yeah,
"Oh, stop
yeah,
talking
yeah.
like an arsehole." Like,
Yeah.
like you're
Honestly, it
doing
looks
it
like
wrong.
they're typing it with an orange or something. It's horrendous.
Just
It's awful.
Don't get it. Although I would big up Fort William. I went to Fort William. That was a couple of years ago now, and I quite like that.
Heard that's nice.
It's all right. Like
Yeah.
it's good. It's good. Nice scenery and that. Like we drove up there when I went, and it was nice to like actually feel what fresh air
Yeah.
is like, because staying in the city you don't get fresh air. It just smells
Just
like shit
non-existent.
everywhere you go. It's disgusting.
I remember when I moved to Aberdeen when I was 18, and then like I lived in like a village of 300 people my whole life, and like mostly relations.
What's that like, man?
and,
Like living in a small place like that. What is that like?
I mean, when
Incestuous.
you don't know, yeah, yeah, aggressively incestuous, but very exciting.
a lot of skeletons in the closet.
Lots of guns, lots of incest. It's a big laugh, I'll tell you that much. But
Drunk postman and all that.
yeah, all the posties. But like, now I
What, are they
remember.
all mad shaggers or something up there?
Well, I remember.
Posties.
I think I remember.
Sleazy perverts.
My brothers had convinced me so much when I was younger that Roddy Post was my biological father that I made my mum get my birth certificate because I was so convinced this was the case. But
Still a little bit of doubt just in the back of the head even
You never
today.
know. To be fair, have you seen the three of them together? They're all incredibly ripped bald guys. There's never any doubt.
There's never any doubt. But at that age, like, I thought Roddy Post was my dad, and some part of me still wishes he was. Anyway, so we're talking about
It's in that brown ale, man.
we're talking about when you say like in terms of like breathing like fresh air and stuff. I remember like moving out of the Highlands and moving to Aberdeen and like not noticing the difference in like air change or whatever. But like I remember the first time I went back home after living in Aberdeen when I was 18. and like having like fresh air again and be like, holy hell, like the city is toxic. Like,
It's horrible,
this is
isn't
so
it? Just
bad.
breathing
like,
in shit constantly.
yeah.
But I couldn't imagine what it'd be like you say, they're living in a village, 300 people.
Yeah.
Nah, it's
Yeah.
not for me either.
No, it's
Little hamlet.
It's good. Like obviously you're super isolated, but I think
Is that no like you'll get, I don't know, post once a week? Is that them kind of places?
Yeah. You live off the fat of the land, boy.
Fucking
Go hunt your meals.
Nah, it's not quite.
You're not
that.
making it out of the studio, man.
It's not quite that bad. The one thing I'd say is like everyone thinks it'll make you like socially like really bad because you're mixing with a load of different kind of people and stuff like that. But what I noticed from my friends from cities is like people who grew up in cities, you've got so many different people with so many different interests around you. You generally kind of gravitate towards people with like similar interests. In my year in school, it was the biggest year of school they've ever had in the history of the village, and there was 9 of us. And so
how many?
yeah. This was my primary school, all boys, and
All related.
So they've already got a small population, and they make it even smaller by having designated.
Yeah, it goes
Like,
kind of year about weirdly. So
all
like, we were
boys and all-
we were the biggest year of like in the history of the primary school. And there was 9 of us boys, and so by the time we got to high school and there was like classes our age with like girls, it was like fucking a dog with 2 dicks running about.
The gene pool is just that small. They don't want to risk it.
But my point is like I think like growing up with like, you know, you're not going to find anyone with like similar interests, or do you know what I mean? It's just the people that are there,
Yeah.
so you have to be friends with them. So it makes you quite good like socially.
So what was it
Social
like when you moved to
chameleon.
the city then? Did you hang all
Terrifying.
those folk
Imagine being
with
the one
dicks
weirdo
was
that your
around?
entire
Not so much because you grow close to them by that time. I just remember it took like I think we've spoken about this. It took, and I spoke this about a few of my other Highland friends that have moved to the city, like growing up in that environment. It just probably took like a fair bit of time to adjust, and the stuff that is like acceptable to do to one another, like very rough and tumble, like back home and stuff, is absolutely not acceptable and very strange for someone who's grown up in the city and kind of like so yeah.
The bouncers in Aberdeen don't like you very much, do they?
But like yeah,
You like me? You got problem with bouncers as well?
not these days.
Yeah, the ones in Exodus really don't like us.
Oh really?
No.
What did you do?
There was one time I think we were doing like the Dirty Dancing lift. Like that song had come on, you were lifting me about. The bouncer came over, and like I don't remember having been in this club like at all with you ever before. And he comes marching over, says, "Every time you two are in here, I have to kick you out for doing something stupid." You mooned him. We got kicked out for doing something stupid.
I just can't believe the bouncer would have a problem with that.
I know. Imagine the audacity. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Must have been a slow night for them.
Needs some entertainment.
Needs something. Aye, anyway, we'll wrap this up. And
It's you mooning the bouncer.
Natural segue.
leave on a good note, eh? Always ask, have you guys enjoyed being on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
man.
absolute
It's been good
pleasure,
fun.
man.
It's been good.
Absolute
Always say
pleasure.
if you've enjoyed yourself, you're more than welcome to come on again whenever you fancy, whenever you feel like it.
I would love to.
If you've got anything you want to, don't know, plug.
When I get the
or
next
whatever,
business idea, I'll
jump on.
I might just go as coming solo.
Yeah,
That's
come
all
on.
right.
Just talk business.
With a big whiteboard.
Start your own podcast, business podcast. There you go.
I'll have you on first guest. The man who gave me my start in the industry.
You'll be sorted. So where can everyone find you? Like online and that. It's all Instagram.
So
right?
yeah, Instagram, Facebook. We've got TikTok that we don't use.
That's a
mu-
big
gathering
push,
dust.
by the way. If you get into it, it's
This man
Do
is going to
wonders.
help me with that because
Yeah.
I don't have a clue how to work it.
well, it's just news to him.
So
Sorry, dude.
Aye.
so it's like it's at Virtue's Band, Ross White, Saxos and Sarnies, Saxos, Sarnies and Sanitary Products.
Yeah, I think we're Virtues Band UK on Instagram. That's probably the best place to catch us. You get all the
Link
stupid
tree and all
stories on
that
there.
nonsense.
No, we've not set one up because we're idiots. Don't know how
Oh,
any of that
actually, I
works.
was
Definitely.
looking at that earlier and I did notice that. I was like,
Yeah,
you
we
need
should
to
probably get on that
as well.
Yeah, I'll do that on the bus on the way home. That's probably a good shout.
Because I had to then go like manually through my Spotify to find you, but the link tree I've noticed for like other bands that come in, it has everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got all the links to everything.
We've still got the
Bands
Cash
that
app
know
on
what
our
they're
Spotify. Like, you know how during COVID you could set up the Cash App thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you set it up. So some guy
I'm not
called
very
Nelson,
technologically stable,
some guy
but-
called Nelson Guzman was getting all of our money for folk who donated to us.
Because I just put in, like, I didn't really understand, like, when you go to, like, add a cash link, if anybody wants to donate to you during COVID for listening to your music, it was like, add your, like, URL for the cash link. And I was like, I don't really understand this stuff. So I just put Virtues. And I was like, oh, cool, a Nigerian rapper. And all.
It's still there. It's still there. So if you want to donate,
So
it's
everyone
there.
that wants to donate, man,
It's not going
So
to
he's
you.
been
Is
getting
that-
the
No,
one
it's
of
some
this guy.
Nigerian
It's one of
guy,
this-
yeah.
one of this guy,
Has he
yeah.
ever reached out to you?
No.
Have you ever found him?
No, and I've been too lazy to take it off. I just kind of like the idea that he's making a bit of bank off somebody for some
I
small.
want to
tax.
see his face. His phone pings. Oh, another 10 quid.
Sounds good. I'm
It's
massive.
a Breaking Bad. He's
like-
donations
yeah,
going flying
yeah,
in.
he's like, I'm massive in Aberdeen. Like, it's just unbelievable.
Okay,
We could be
get him on
rolling in
tour.
it.
Oh, what? Right, well, we'll wrap up then. You guys have been fucking brilliant, by the way. Such a laugh.
Thank you.
Such a laugh, and it's made it easier for me today, being dead as it is.
Anytime, man.
So,
Anytime.
that's fantastic. So we'll call it there. Is that all good?
All good.
I'll
Aye.
do my little intro or outro then. Right, you've been watching another episode of Ear Candy. We've had the Virtues in today. It's been fucking banging. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.